to do it, startups or SMEs or, anyone in entrepreneurship, it's got to be purpose-driven. And I love what you said about money.
It never leads.
It follows. Yeah. And every time I've kicked a big goal, I've been just absolutely obsessed with the purpose. And that's why what I'm doing now, Belly Busters, now I'm about to do Think Trim. It's purpose-driven. And it will be massive. But I'm not focused on it being massive. I'm focused on the people in the tribe. I'm focused in walking clubs around Australia. And so if you're wanting to do a startup and you're trying to raise money or whatever it is, are you passionate about it? Or... And I see this a lot, especially in young blokes, like they look at a category, this is about to blow up, we'll get into that. No good. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. Yeah. And if you do happen to make money out of it, you're still not going to be happy because it's not bringing you any joy. It's not how spiritually, we don't work like that as humans. We again, you chase the buck. You might be clever and find a gap in the market and make money, but I guarantee that's not where happiness lives. Down the path.
It's very short term.
It's short term.
Thinking about the money and not thinking about the purpose behind it and being passionate about what you do, because that's what's going to get you up in the morning.
That's right.
To do all of those daily rituals, right?
And to go one step further, I would say this is that this is the oldest cliche in the book. But the thing about cliches, that's why they're cliches, because they're true. It's because they've been around forever. So.
Why reinvent the wheel?
That's right. Yeah. One of the biggest, would you do it for free? If you weren't getting paid, would you still do it? That's what you should be doing. Right, and the work I do now, absolutely. When I've gone off track, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't do it. Would I rock up on TV and flog protein bars every day for free? No. But I would coach people every day, right?
Because that's the purpose behind it all.
Yes.
It's about helping people. And I think that's what with us, with Luxland, it's and every other business we have, it's all about, comes down to the core of helping someone.
That's right.
And helping others and bringing value to those people so they can better their lives.
Yeah, and that's why you've got such great businesses, and I admire you too. You're a powerhouse, because even with your salon 266, folks, if you need a haircut, feel free to duck on down. But even that's one of the best in Sydney. I used to go there all the time, and then the hair fell out. Jade wanted me to be the face of the brand, but I said, look, it's probably not appropriate.
Got a bit too hard in the end.
It did. It was tough. But this salon here, everyone raves about it in the eastern suburbs, and I'll tell you why, because you're passionate about it. So a fish rots from the head. Business is top down. So if the CEO is not passionate about what they're doing, and if they're not leading by example, and they're not the hardest worker in the room, forget about it. It cannot. Quantum physics, energy, it just can't work if the person at the top is taking the piss. You've got to be driven and motivated and passionate, and like you guys do that with all your businesses, you definitely do it with this one, and that's why that transfers into the staff that you've got, because it's a mirror. It's monkey see, monkey do, and if the boss is, I'm not really that interested, well, they're not going to be that interested 100%. In it, and so it's got to be purpose driven.
Well, that energy starts from the top, doesn't it? And then it will just go down and down and down, and you need to set that example. Otherwise, everyone else is not going to respect your business.
No.
I think one of the things that I think is really important is that we can all talk about how, the things that to do right, the things that are really wrong, you shouldn't go down this path, shouldn't go down that path, you should do this. How important do you think it is to just learn as you go along and learn from your mistakes? Like, you have to go through the storm, because then you'll become more resilient. You know what?
I think it is important, but it's funny. If I had met me, I don't know if I would have listened, but if I was a 30-year-old, it'd be good to have a mentor, because who's made the blunders, because they're so obvious to me now. Young people starting to make big money. The traps are everywhere.
You can see it.
Oh, because I did them all. I blew 20 legs off. I've stepped on every landmine known to man. It's so obvious. I can just see the cliff. This bloke's boom, and I know what's coming. And it goes back to daily rituals. It goes back to their why, or their lack of their why. And it's so obvious. So you got to... You do, learn on the go for sure. But bite off more than you can chew, and chew like crazy, all that stuff. But a mentor, I think it's so important, and that's why I believe people who are born into business families generally go pretty well because it's talked about at the dinner table and
they're surrounded by it.
Surrounded by it. You know, and I love my parents. They're amazing, you know, school teachers. So I didn't really have those conversations. Wonderful people, and I didn't really have a mentor. It was just me doing my best. I had a few older people, but when I got a bit too big for my boots, there was no one there to go, mate, pull your head in. What are you doing? Hey, who are you? Get back to where you... That's not the Geoff that I respect. What are you doing?
There was no one to humble you.
No one. No. And because when you're kicking goals, your staff and whatnot, and if you're on a bit of a winning streak, no one's really going to pull you up. And I think it's important if you're kicking big goals that you need that person, because the minute you get too big for your boots, the universe will give you a little poke. I think a little poke, little tap on the shoulder, then a little tap, then a harder tap, then a slap, then just a knockout.
Yeah.
But mate, I needed the knockout blow, and then they put the slipper into me a few times on the deck as well before I actually went, oh, gee, I probably lost my way a bit there. So hopefully if you're watching this, you'll just be listening. If it doesn't feel quite right, if something, I'm not quite sure about that person, there's a reason. There's a reason you're not quite sure about that person. Yeah, and you got to listen to that. But I was always too worried about making the money and being successful and proving myself and to just be patient. Just be patient. People ask me all the time, so when you got this new thing, you're going to scale it, what are you going to do? What about this? No, that's all. Like I had a couple of phone calls yesterday about some stuff that, you know, there's opportunities everywhere. But I say no to so many things now because I just know where I need to be, narrow and deep in my passions and what I'm strong at. And sure, there's those good opportunities there, but I don't need to worry about that now. I'm not trying to be the rock star. I just want to help some people lose weight, and these are that's my passion. But
staying in your lane,
staying in my lane. So if you're an entrepreneur, don't go too wide. That's where I've stuffed up massively. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? Yes, you got to make the blunders, but I would look at engaging a coach. I really would. I've coached people. I think it's important, and because people start making money, start making poor decisions. You know, we live in a fast-paced world. There's so many, the drinking, the drugs, the alcohol. There's so much stuff out there that if you want to build empires and that means something, you got to be so careful. You got to be so careful. I call it fool's gold. It is fool's gold. You know, look at the bloke kicking the big goals and out all the time. They won't be out all the time for long because it's all going to come crushing down. And you guys are great like that. You got to work hard. You got to go to bed early. You got to get up early. And if people are listening, that sounds pretty boring. Success is boring.
It really is.
Success is boring.
It's interesting that you say that go out and get a coach, right? Like we look at professional athletes, for example, and they all have coaches.
Yeah.
You know, and they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they want to be the best at whatever it is. It could be, you know, at health and fitness. It could be at property investing. It could be at some sort of business as an entrepreneur, but they're too proud to go and get a coach, right? Their ego's so big that they can't go and look for help from someone who's done better than them.
Yep.
And what happens is that those people aren't going to be the best in the world. Realistically.
For sure.
Right? Because athletes, for example, let's say a professional athlete that has no coach, do they become the best in the world?
That's right.
I don't think so.
No.
You know, even the mid-level guys all have coaches, right? So it's very important in business, or whether it's got to do with weight loss, you need that coach, someone to push you along and also pull you up when you're winning. Not just when you're losing to pull you up, but also to pull you up when you're actually winning and you're getting too far ahead of yourself. And, you know, like you said, Geoff, you're going on those winning streaks. You know, your ego gets the better of you. And then, you know, but if there's no one there to pull you up, you just keep going until you crash. Right?
Absolutely.
Because that's what happened to you, right? It's happened to me before, where you just become so proud and you become so, you know, you know, like you just you have no off button, right?
No, and you can't see the forest for the trees. It's like the frog in the warming pot. The frog doesn't jump out of the warming pot because they don't feel it. And your life's just madness. It's just chaos, and this thing's not working. And you know, I say control your mind, or you know, it controls you, and you've got to be able to, you know. I talk about being a spectator to your thoughts. So in the game of life, you've got to be in the arena, I say less Game of Thrones, more Game of Life. Everyone's too busy on Netflix and what's going on. Throw Netflix in the bin, right? Read books and do that stuff. And again, if that sounds boring, you're probably not going to be that successful. Watching Khaleesi on her dragons in Netflix is probably not going to help you build wealth and lose weight. And good on her, she's a great bird, Khaleesi, and the dragons are awesome. Not going to change your life. Rest assured.
Well, this stuff's going to change your life. Like listening to this stuff, putting good stuff into here, which is going to help you rather than wasting time on bad TV or bad radio, or just being a consumer of bad stuff, right? You want to put good stuff into here. So, Geoff, seeing as you've had so many successes, so many adversities, you've done so much in business, health and fitness, and you've, like you've just said earlier, you said, oh, geez, I've done so much, right? It only makes sense that you would be a great life coach. To many, right? Yeah. How can people get in touch with you, utilise your services, and start engaging?
Sure, mate. That's a good question, and that's really the direction I want to go down now. I've realised at 41, I don't enjoy running companies anymore, mate. I was never a great CEO, mate. I've got ADD, and so I need to have an executive team to build businesses, and I just don't want to do that anymore. So the coaching thing for me is my passion, and I'm doing it two ways. I run weight loss tribes online, so I'm launching Think Trim, so people can go to geoffjowett.com/thinktrim to look at that, and that's live video coaching twice daily. Everything's live through Facebook Live, Q&A. That's awesome. The results are amazing. But the other thing I'm going to do is a one-to-one, which is life coaching. There's some business coaching, but it's mainly life, mindset, and really setting people up to win. And if people are interested in that, that's a lot more tailored to them, and they just email me, geoffjowett.com, and that's something I'm starting to do and having some real breakthroughs with people. I never take on more than about 6 clients at a time, because I don't do more than 1 or 2 sessions a day. I want to sort of go deep with that person and make sure we're having the breakthroughs. So, mate, they're the two things for me now. I build online tribes in weight loss. Pardon me, and I do some life coaching, and it is for look. I have had I've had some cataclysmic failures, and there's so many. I think I'm armed with a lot of knowledge to help people avoid them, and also when they find the sweet spot in their business and the gap in their market, and just to be happier in life. And really to be, coming back, as Simon Sinek says, start with why, coming back to their why. I've nailed it and I've stuffed it up a bunch of times, and now I'm hyper vigilant with my rituals. So whenever I feel myself pulling away from my true north, I'm so quick to
bring it back,
come back, because I've stuffed it up a couple of times, mate. That's enough. I'm not getting any younger. And again, though, for me, coaching, motivating, equipping people, that's what I love most. It's not really managing staff. It's not really. Someone said to me the other day, "Well, you're going to bring out supplements?" No. Oh, but that'd be great. No. Probably, I'll promote mates like Nick Jones with Gen Tech and Mr. Supplement, and I'll do stuff with those guys, and I'll promote. I'm not interested in having protein bars and doing all that. I'm not passionate about making up supplements. I'm passionate about people and education. So I figure that'll do. I'll just do that.
Great, Geoff. Well, look, we really appriouswill you coming on.
Thanks for having me. You guys are awesome.
It's been a great year, 2017. This will be our last one for the year, and we really thank you for finishing it off with us. And
thanks for believing in me, guys, because obviously it's been a bit bumpy, and you guys have always stood by me. And
I wish we could spend every day with you. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Well, let's get you back on in 2018 and see how you're going with it all. And look, let's say goodbye to our listeners, and thank you guys for listening in. And
everyone.
We'll see you in 2018. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. And guys, on the podcast, don't forget to subscribe and shout out to your mates about this. And if you've got any questions, send them through to info@luxland.com.au. And we'll speak to you guys next year. Thank you very much for listening.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.